What's up, guys? It's Jill. It's Monday, the 24th of February, and I wanted to tell you guys a story. Now, I've spoken before about how I lived in a lot of trauma and chaos. So, I want to take you back to about 1995, and it is St. Patrick's Day, and it's a Friday afternoon, and I am home from school, and we had this crazy Bose surround system with these infinity kappa speakers that would vibrate stuff off the walls, right? So I'm home alone and I am an audiophile. I have been a music junkie most of my life. And so I'm watching the MTV countdown after school, and Coolio's Fantastic Voyage is playing. And I had it so freaking loud, just jumping around, having a good time right now. I didn't expect anyone home until about 5 o'clock. It was not 5 o'clock when the front door flew open. And there's my stepdad just raging, screaming at me, "Turn that N-word shit off." And I knew in that moment that it was about to be a very bad day. Now, more often than not, when that would happen, I was about to take the brunt of whatever had been happening, let's say at work or in the adult world, right? And that usually resulted in me being picked up by my hair and shaken like a rag doll, which would result in this huge blood clot on the top of my head that wouldn't go down for a couple of hours. It's really painful. 0 out of 10 stars. Please don't do that to your children ever, or your girlfriend, or anyone. So how did we get there? I had done nothing wrong. I was a kid, being a kid. I had the music too loud. Turned it off, obviously went about my day. Now, here's the backstory. My stepdad was a deputy sheriff in Erie County. He came through the prison system, I think to Oneida, and then here. May have been somewhere else in the interim. I was really, really little, guys. I was 4 or 5 when I met him. I think I was 4. My mom married him at 9. He moved into the Department of Corrections in Oneida, like I said again, then came here, and retired as a civilian in the role of the Director of Volunteer Services for the 3rd tier New York State prisons. So there were a lot of instances where there were things going on inside the prison, and those things would directly impact him or directly impact his mental health. And I'm not saying that there's not generational trauma there. His brother was also wildly violent, but a lot of it did come from the system on that particular day. And I guess as a child, I didn't put this together, but I should have known that preceding Tuesday, an inmate, and I believe his name was Thomas Johnson, had attacked a guard in the shop where they were making license plates. And here it was Friday. The prison had been in and out of lockdown, and that guard had not yet been released from the hospital. So there was a lot going on. Does that mean I should have been the recipient of any of that? This system is a prison on both sides, guys, whether they're inside or they're outside. Okay, anyone involved in that system, if they tell you anything other than that, they're a liar. And we know this, okay? Because there are very few of the humans who walk through those doors that can manage on a day-to-day basis to balance that without some kind of therapy or release. And we see it all the time, okay? I had a friend right around that same age period, actually, who lived very close to me, and you could walk in her home on any given day, you could feel the tension was palpable, and you would know that he had been beating his wife. Did he hit his kids? I'm gonna go with probably not, because they both followed him into the system. But it's opportunity, right? And that's what we were always told. Like, look, this is an opportunity to make money, and that's unfortunately how we got these systems that we did. That's why the education system, same way, right? They just sucked us in. And when the education fails, then where do they go? They go to the prison, right? It's a cyclical thing. You're either on one side of the wall or you're on the other, and it's always been that way. And I'm not saying that every guard beats their wife or their kids or is, a complete narcissist or aggressive, because a lot of them don't. A lot of them stuff it down. How many guards have we lost in the past 3 to 5 years? Just in our own tier. To suicide. Because they don't know where to put it. The issues of drugs are huge. And are there corrupt officers? Of course there are. Of course there are. But again, it's a byproduct of the system. The drug rings are just another byproduct of a failed society. We incarcerate more individuals in this country than any developed nation. Just the way we gobble down prescription pills. We take the most and we pay the most for them. It's a failed nation. America is gonna come apart at the seams for a little while, because we are finally exposing the truth of these failed systems. And what Hochul pulled yesterday with the insurances, I don't know. You would have to be pretty damn invested in being a guard and take a whole lot of pride in that job to stick around in a situation like this. I understand that we have to have a livelihood, guys. Okay, I get it. But these institutions are false. And these things are proof of it. We cage those inmates. And what are we giving them? We're giving them false foods, loaded with soy. We know that there's hormone manipulation in soy. We know it makes, for effeminate men, we know that it messes with testosterone levels and their ability to get an erection. We don't have outdoor greenscapes. They shut down the shot camps. Boulder Shock, you used to be able to go outside and there was like basketball hoops in a gym and there was grass. Do we have those things? Do we have actual workshops anymore? Like where they can actually have a skill inside the prisons? And I may be wrong, but we used to produce like phenomenal pieces of furniture and, actual creative art shows. We used to have art shows. Where are those things? Are we doing those things? Are there creative outlets? Because I'll tell you, my stepdad was a huge advocate for bringing the Cornell college system to the prisons. He spoke multiple times at Cornell on how education was a tool and how we knew that it was advantageous to recidivism, right? They needed those things. But over the past couple of years, have those things increased? We have to get back to some kind of balance on both sides. We need to find the humanity in it. Because constantly being at war is not beneficial to anyone. In talking about the Hall Act, I was looking at the age restrictions, but I was also researching, right? Like, people seek solace in the shoe. Like, sometimes if they know that they're in trouble or if they're waiting being moved, they will put themselves in there, right? So some people were seeking to be locked away from everyone else. Can that still happen? I don't know. Okay, there are a lot of things that I don't know, but I will tell you this. No one is winning. Things need to change. And we need to be standing behind these guards. I am with you 1,000%. If this is your job and you are committed to this, and yes, we need you to show up. I am not saying that I don't want you to show up for work, because someone has to watch these men and women. But we need to be affecting change on a grand scale. We need to be affecting policy, not just here, but at a federal level. Because we cannot keep incarcerating this many people and housing and feeding and handing them all this technology without giving them some kind of creative outlet, without giving them some kind of humanity, because we're just creating animals. I've seen some of the pictures of the bloodied faces of the dead guards. I've been through Scared Straight. I've spoken with men who have murdered people in cold blood. I was looking to see what time it was. Guys, it's a lot. And I debated on whether or not I was going to make this video and whether or not I was going to talk about the fact that a lot of the hell that I lived through as a kid came right out of that system. But it's money cycles. It's all money cycles. For-profit prisons. And I've been told that over the past couple of years, that's not how it is anymore, Jill. Baloney. Because we wouldn't still keep incarcerating people the way that we were. We wouldn't have had the bail reform that we've had. A lot of things have gone very, very wonky over the past couple of years. And we have collectively allowed it. A lot of these things that we're going through right now is our own fault, because we have collectively allowed it to go on for so freaking long. So if you live in this system, if you make your living in that system, know that my heart is with you. And I hope that you are moving through your emotions. I hope that a lot of people are crying right now and that they are seeking internally, like, which way do we go? Because something has to change. Our guards need to be safe. We need humane treatment, but we also need options for repercussion, because we can't just have inmates running wild. There's too much violence, guys. Anyways, I guess that's what I came here to say. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later.